Ocean's 11 is by far the coolest movie in the robbery genre, but it's just a movie and it never happens in real life. Or does it? Hello there, and in this video you will learn about the most daring, crazy, and inventive crimes that sound too crazy to be true, but actually happened. Meet Stefan Breitwieser. At one time, he robbed 172 museums, amassing a collection over 6 years with a combined total of $1.4 billion. At the trial, this handsome Frenchman stated that he stole exhibits only out of his love for art. Perhaps he was telling the truth, because during his career, Stefan did not sell a single exhibit. However, when we learn that his mother, in order to try to hide the evidence, destroyed part of his collection, he tried to commit suicide. After receiving 3 years in prison, this peculiar connoisseur of art was released ahead of schedule for good behavior, and subsequently wrote a book about his skills. Apparently, he didn't much like the role of being a writer, because after a while, the art kleptomaniac was once again caught in the crime. The beautiful love story for masterpieces was tarnished because this time, he was caught trying to sell stolen goods. In 2013, Max Wade wanted to impress a girl. Like most stories that begin in this way, pure idiocy followed. His plan was this. He wanted to climb onto the roof of a car dealership, go inside using a rope like in the movie Mission Impossible, and steal the $200,000 yellow Lamborghini. It was a very stupid idea, and it worked. A security camera filmed the car when it crossed the Golden Gate Bridge, and this was the last time that anyone ever saw it. But the car was returned after a year and a half when they caught the teenager. This happened essentially by complete accident. Wade, by that time a 17-year-old professional criminal, was arrested after he shot at a girl and her boyfriend 5 times whom he originally wanted to impress. Fortunately, neither the girl nor her boyfriend were seriously injured, and Wade was sentenced to life in prison for all of his crimes. In 1955, Alfred Hitchcock directed the film To Catch a Thief at the fashionable Carlton Hotel in Cannes. After a little more than half a century, a crime was committed in that same hotel, which closely mirrored the plot of this film. The Carlton hosted an exhibition of thieves jewelry, when at one point a man wearing gloves, a hat, and a scarf came into the room. Armed with a pistol, he put jewelry worth $136 million in his bag. Then the robber simply went out the back door and disappeared. Despite the simplicity of the theft, the police believe that he had a well-developed plan, similar to the heists of the infamous Pink Panther gang. Gerald Blanchard was the type of thief who sneaks into banks through ventilation ducts, builds secret shelters in places that he wants to rob, and then escapes arrest by crawling through the ceiling of the police station. Thus, when he heard about the Sissy Star, the priceless jewel that was created for the Empress Elizabeth of Austria, Blanchard thought that perhaps he should steal this as effectively as possible. How, you may ask? Taking a pilot friend with him, jumping from a light aircraft, and parachuting down to land exactly on the roof of the Austrian palace, in which the gem was stored. He went down the wall on a rope and snuck through the window, which he had opened during a tour of the palace museum the day before. Having disabled the alarm, Blanchard quickly replaced the jewel with the exact copy that he bought in the museum's gift shop. Apparently, it was a very high-quality gift shop, because it took several weeks for someone to notice the absence of Sissy Star. In fact, at first they found an abandoned parachute, but didn't think much of it. Until suddenly, someone somewhere remembered that they did not in fact put on a parachute before entering the museum. As soon as Blanchard got the historically significant gem at his disposal, he hid the jewel in his grandmother's basement and quickly forgot about it. He knew that he couldn't sell the stone, and he stole it on a whim as he would take a Twix chocolate bar at the checkout in a supermarket. He was caught by police in 2007 when he was arrested for other unrelated crimes. You may not believe it, but 20 years after this movie-like robbery, this professional thief was busy stealing game consoles in stores. The Banco Central burglary in Fortaleza, Brazil, made a gang that took care primarily of its convenience. Fraudsters rented a house near the bank and dug a 260-foot tunnel that ended right in the bank vault. They slowly, for 3 months under the noses of the police and the bank itself, engaged in the construction. As a result, the building was equipped with everything necessary in order not to leave their comfort zone during the theft. Police were particularly struck by the fact that the arches of this tunnel that they had built were reinforced with wood and upholstered with plastic panels. In total, the looted money weighed about 3.5 tons, but they were able to deal with it in comfort as the tunnel even had lighting and electricity. The Hatton Garden Raiders. This gang consisted of very old thieves aged 58 to 76 years old who decided to get together for one last job, stealing $20 million in gold and precious stones. After 3 years of careful planning, the gang entered the building dressed like construction workers. They made their way down to the vault through the elevator shaft. Remember, these were pensioners. In fact, one of them was forced to interrupt the robbery to make an injection of insulin. After spending several hours drilling a hole into the fortified storage, they found that the cells of interest were attached to the floor and ceiling. Thus, the old men remained empty-handed, but returned 2 days later with a better set of tools. This time, they went through 73 deposit boxes, loaded their loot into garbage bins, and triumphantly left. But unfortunately for the gang, new technologies such as CCTV cameras seemed to be unknown to the group. A short investigation revealed that they were still holding regular meetings in a nearby pub, and lip reading revealed that they had bragged about their robbery in detail. They were captured and sentenced to lengthy prison terms. This Hollywood-style robbery was committed in Sweden. Having previously hijacked a helicopter, the criminals landed on the roof of a money vault, from where they decided to enter through a skylight. While the policemen cordoned off the building, the scammers had actually already climbed all the way back up to the helicopter with their spoils in tow. According to rough estimates, this was about $5 million, but the exact amount is still unknown. All in all, it took them about 20 minutes. Police helicopters couldn't chase the robbers because a bag with the words "bomb" was hung from the door of the police station hangar. However, instead of exploding, it actually turned out to be a dummy. In 2003, an unremarkable pizza delivery man, Brian Wells, carried out his usual order. Upon arriving at the address of the transmitting tower that ordered the pizza, he became the hostage of 2 bandits. They put a gun to Brian's head and strapped a time bomb on his neck. The hostage was given instructions on a bank robbery, threatening that in case of failure, the bomb would explode. Fear of death made Brian decide to commit the crime. Investigators actually later found out that the bomb had no failsafe and was rigged to explode whether Brian completed the robbery or not. The conspirators didn't want to leave any witnesses who might or might not cooperate with the police. So, with a bomb around his neck, Wells went to the address indicated to him. There, threatening bank employees with an improvised shotgun cane provided to him, he demanded $250,000, but at the time, only $10,000 was in the teller box. Brian took the money with him, but was quickly detained by the police. He pleaded for help, wishing for the arrival of the bomb squad. But for some reason, the cops were in no hurry to do this. After 30 minutes, the bomb squad was finally called. It only took them 3 minutes to arrive at the scene. However, it was already too late. The bomb exploded, killing the unfortunate delivery driver in front of countless viewers over live television broadcast. Was the poor pizza delivery man simply in the wrong place at the wrong time? In 2007, the conspirators were finally apprehended, and they were sentenced to sentences of 30 and 45 years. At the hearing, Kenneth Barnes and Marjorie Dale Armstrong claimed that they did not attack Wells. According to them, the pizza delivery man was in on the plot from the very beginning, and the bomb would be a fake. Police found out that the duo needed money to pay for the services of a killer who was supposed to kill the rich father of Dale Armstrong, thus getting them access to a solid inheritance. Santa Claus bank robbery. This story happened in 1927 when the Great Depression reigned in America. At that time, Marshall Ratliff was known in Texas as an active bank robber. After a suspended sentence for a long term, the man remained unemployed and without a livelihood. Where to get cash? Of course, from the bank. He decided to rob it as that was his only option. Ratliff's victim turned out to be a branch of a local bank, but in the hometown of Cisco, Marshall would be easily recognized. So he went to work in a Santa Claus costume and mask, and it happened on December 23rd, shortly before Christmas. Therefore, the appearance of the robber didn't surprise anyone and didn't attract attention. On the way to the business, Ratliff even talked with the children and patted them on the head. Santa turned out to be so kind that some children even followed him to the bank. At the bank, Marshall and 3 of his friends took out pistols and began to demand that they be given $150,000 in cash and securities. And so, Santa Claus put the money in his bag of toys for all the good boys and girls. The bandits, however, were not in store for Christmas Miracle this year. The mother of one of the girls who had followed the Santa saw what was happening inside of the bank and began to scream. Policemen then began surrounding the building, and when the criminals tried to leave, a shootout ensued. During it, 1 thief and 2 police officers were killed. The remaining runaway robbers were put on the wanted list. As a result, the robbers were found, and when they were caught again, they got to shooting. All 3 remaining criminals were injured, with Ratliff being shot 6 times. But still, the bandits survived and managed to stand trial. The judge's decision was tough. The leader of the gang, Marshall, along with the chief assistant, were sentenced to death. The third robber received a life sentence. Ratliff tried to avoid his fate and appealed the decision of the judges by trying to demonstrate mental inadequacy. But upon learning of this, the angry residents of Eastland County broke into prison and executed the criminal themselves. And that's all for today. Write in the comments down below what you think about these robberies, and don't forget to click like if you like this video. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more.